Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator Podcast. I'm your host, Dana. And today on our Monday Reality Roundup, we are talking about Summer House, The Traitors, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, The Golden Life, Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, and The Hills. And joining me today is Raya from the podcast Coffee Meets Vodka. We had the funnest time talking all things reality TV. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode. But until then, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is where you can watch episodes like today. You can also join the Facebook group. And if you want to, contribute a little bit to the Bravo Investigator and you want a little bit of extra content, you can head over to patreon.com/the Bravo Investigator Podcast. You can get 4 extra podcast episodes over there for $5 a month. You also get ad-free episodes and early episodes. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode today with Coffee Meets Vodka. And I love you guys. I will see you next time. Raya Hensler, welcome to the Bravo Investigator Podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me all the way down south from the States.
Ooh, Texas, shout out.
Yes. Well,
I'm so happy to have you here. We met IRL in BravoCon, and that was so much fun. You and Bravo Bree were helping me out because I was like running around like a chicken with her head cut off trying to meet Kristen, and I had like the wrong ticket in hand. Do you remember this? There was like that lineup for what do you call it?
Wait, Kristen Doty?
Doty, yeah.
Queen, by the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I was just like trying to figure it out, and Bree was like helping me because the ticket that I had was for Tamra, not because I wanted to meet Tamra, but because my friend had that ticket. It was like this whole kerfuffle, and this was like Sunday at like the end of almost everything, so I almost didn't get to meet her. And then like Bree ended up helping me out with that because she's like, don't even show them your number, just like, because everybody had like those tickets with the numbers. And then I ended up getting to meet her. But no, it was so great to meet you IRL, which was the best part of BravoCon.
Did you had the meet and greet ticket for Kristen?
I had it for Tamra by accident.
Oh, for Tamra.
Because I had a friend's. It was so confusing. We weren't able, I don't know if you got caught up in this, but we weren't able to get a ticket regardless because the app was down. So this was sort of all last minute. And then they're like, we're able to give you one. So my friend got it, and I was her +1 for that, but I didn't realize it was for someone specific. And then when it ended up being Tamra, I'm like, well, God damn it.
Yeah. No, we didn't get it either. Like me and Amanda were the only, or like she would have been my +1. We were the only ones that got like out of our little group, the like photo op.
Right. The photo op. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got like Jasmine and Zach and
pretty good.
Someone else. We wanted the McBees. I know, but then the line, our time was like at 2 p.m. and it was like 1:50 and we were still in the pre-line. So like we were gonna miss I don't know. We were just like, no, whatever. We're not waiting in the line. Like, who cares? We'll see them or we won't, So
listeners probably don't even understand. Like I tried to explain BravoCon to them, but like it was lines on top of lines on top of lines. There was a line to get into the venue, and then a pre-line, like you said, to meet the Bravo Lebs, and then a line once you get inside the photo booth areas to meet the Bravo Lebs. So it was just, a nightmare of lines. But anyways, it was great. It was because of those lines that we got to spend more time together. So there you go. Right?
We got to goss IRL. It was so nice.
Got to do it. But yeah, for the listeners who don't know you, you have a podcast, Coffee Meets Vodka, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about like how you started the pod, how you got into reality TV, and just a little bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you. So it's called Coffee Meets Vodka Podcast, available anywhere you get podcasts and on YouTube. I do it by myself, much like Dana, and I have, some guests on IRL and also via virtual. But one thing about me is I'm really good at talking. I'm a great yapper. So it just kind of came naturally. I have like a background in acting. So like I moved to LA in 2015 to pursue that. People are like, oh, how'd that go? Well, I'm back now. So didn't go that well.
You know what? But I'm so impressed for you putting yourself out there. That's a huge to do.
and it was more so like I'm 22, like now's the time. I would actually give anything to like do that again, like just that like fuck it, whatever. Like
Yeah.
now it's just like, okay, well, I have a dog and I got my stuff. And I had all that back then, but you had more time, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, am I going to be doing this at 40? Like, I don't know. Um so anyways, I moved there, but it was also like to find myself, and it was the best experience I could have ever done. Well, good and bad, it is LA. But I moved back, and I wanted to start actually a podcast in 2016, like before they really picked up. And I was like, oh my God, like I would be so good at it, but I was scared because I was, young 20s. And thank God, honestly, because what did I know at 22, 23? Hallelujah, I didn't do that. So I mustered up the strength. I started it in 2019, and I was like, I'm gonna do pop culture and reality TV. It's like the thing that I feel like I could talk most about, even if I'm reading the headlines or I haven't watched a show all the way through or whatever, like somehow I'm still in the know, like information just finds its way to me. So, and I have a very strong opinions. I like to keep it light and fun. And I mean, I think I'm funny. I hope you guys will think I'm funny too. But I also wanted it to be like you're just FaceTiming your best friend
Hmm.
and, catching up. And as somebody who may or may not be in the know of pop culture and reality TV, here's the tea of kind of what you could get for the week. It is weekly, allegedly. No, it is. I just was kind of on a hiatus because like I really was like reality TV'd out. I was talking to Worm about it, and I was like, I'm reading more. Like I always read, but like I'm audio booking. I'm not even listening to music. Like I'm like audio booking. I'm reading history books. Like I'm getting like,
No, I so
a
get
lot
it.
of
Sometimes you
knowledge.
just sort of need to like switch what you're into. Like sometimes I'm into reality TV, sometimes I'm into like crime documentaries, and that's all I want to
Oh,
watch. Then
oh,
sometimes,
the
yeah,
crime.
I don't even want the noise, right? I don't want the TV. I just want to listen to
Right.
music. So I so get you. And it sort of continues in a pattern where you're like, okay, now for this month, that's all I'm into.
Yes. And I don't know if that's also the ADHD in me,
Oh, maybe.
but yeah, I get like very hyper fixed on stuff, and I love history and stuff like that, which, I don't really talk about on the podcast because then I get nervous, and then I'm like, oh my God, somebody's gonna fact check me. And I'm like, sorry, I don't have my notes right here. I am, however, like a huge royalist. Um, love the Royals. I know you're in Canada. It's a little controversial, but I have hot takes on that too. So it's like all encompassing. It's not
Yeah.
just reality TV. I also talk about TV or film or movies that I've seen sometimes. And just yeah, like I said, like just kind of talking about things that happened that week and FaceTiming your friend.
I love that. And it sounds like even more expansive than mine, quite frankly, because you're doing all pop culture or you're just talking about what's like new in the zeitgeist, what's going on in the world, but from like, yeah, the pop perspective. So I absolutely love that. But
Yeah,
today I'm gonna
thank you.
drag you back into reality TV and
Can't
into
wait.
Bravo. Okay.
Can't wait.
Okay, amazing. So are you watching Summer House this season?
I am. Me and Brie actually just, not to bring her up. Oh my God, she's getting so many shout
Yeah.
outs. But
Our
we just
friend
had
Bravo, Bravo,
a
Bravo Brie.
Bravo Brie. Yeah, we just had a, watch party in San Antonio. So we did that. So we did like although we were like yapping too much, we didn't even watch it. We had to watch it the next day. But I
Oh my
love
gosh, that's
Summer
so
House.
fun.
Summer House gives me like the most FOMO.
Really?
Yeah,
For
just
me,
because I
it's
want to
more
party
like
and I'm like,
I
I want
can't.
to be there in the house. Like, yeah.
Oh my God, goals to be invited to a summer house party though, right?
Literally.
Absolutely. Okay, so I actually was just at this Carl Radke meet and greet event the other night. So I just want to tell you
Okay,
about it because it
cute.
was like so much fun. So
Please do.
as you know, he released his book Cake Eater, right? So he ended up doing a couple meet and greets and book signings at a couple of Indigos in Canada. So he did one in Toronto and one in Vancouver, all just over this past weekend. And my friend Julia, who's from the account Color Us Bravo, she and her partner, they do basically like these drawings of Bravo Lebs and then color it in and stuff. And whenever I
Oh, I love
bring
that.
Julia with me to one of these events, right, the Bravo Leb is so enamored with the picture that she brings. We did it for Teresa, Jax Taylor, Tom Schwartz. So I was just sort of like, okay, every time we come to one of these events, they're so like flabbergasted with Julia, and I'm just standing there like, hi, I didn't bring anything. So I'm like, what can I bring Carl, right? And like Julia's like, why don't you bring him some cake? Like cake eater. I'm like, what's he gonna do with a cake, right? And it really came down to this where I'm like, I'm running out of ideas. I don't want to bring him food. Like he's going to carry around cake. So I went to Roots, and Roots is like a very quintessential Canadian store. It's very like cozy. I don't know if you've seen the logos with the beaver. I like all my clothes are Roots. I should just be wearing it.
Okay. Oh my
But
God,
yeah, it's
that's
a
funny because
very Canadian store.
we have Bucky's here with a beaver, and
Oh,
people
okay,
like
okay.
love rocking it. Yeah. Oh my
Okay,
God, we
maybe
should
it's like
share
the
our
same.
beaver merch.
We should.
I'll send you
So
something.
funny.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so Roots. So like I have all Roots clothes. It's like the comfy sweatshirts type of thing. I end up getting him a hat, and it says R on it for Roots, but also for Radke, right?
Radke. Okay,
And it
cute.
was like this really nice green. And then they had maple syrup there. I'm like, that's hilarious. That is so funny. I know people think we carried around in our purse, but we do not. So when I saw it, I thought that was so funny because like that's Canadian, right? So I'll get him that.
Right, right.
So we show
Well,
up.
especially Toronto, aren't you guys like the Maple Leafs or whatever?
Yes,
Your
yeah, it was
hockey
shaped
team?
in a maple leaf as well, so it was so cute. It was so perfect.
I be
So we
knowing
show up
stuff.
at this Indigo, and we end up being in line for an hour and a half, which sounds insane, and it was, but it was because truly he was giving at least 10 minutes to each person, which was so kind. Like I just could not believe how like intimate he was being with everyone, right? So we get up closer to the front, and there's like three women there who are all seated. Two of them, like one of them was like the book publisher or something like that. I don't know why balloons are like moving around me through Zoom right now. That is very bizarre. Zoom does weird things. Like if I do this, it's gonna.
Yeah, if you do,
Yeah.
have you seen that? Look, have you seen that on the iPhone? It started to do that on
No,
FaceTime. Like if I do a thumbs up, it'll do that thumbs up.
I
Oh
didn't
my
ask for
God.
12 thumbs. Right? I don't know why I just got a birthday surprise, but that was
Well,
really funny for
Zoom
anyone
is
who's
excited
watching this
about
on
your Carl
YouTube.
Radke. Yeah, Zoom's excited about your Carl Radke story.
There you go. There you go. So we get up there, and yeah, these three women, they're like either the book publishers or they're connected to him somehow. And I said, oh, I'm the Bravo investigator. And they're like, oh, you're on the list. And I'm like, what list? And they're like, oh, Carl put down like a list of the people that he knows are coming. I'm like, okay. So I basically what happened was I had this situation with him last year. I'd asked him to do my podcast. It went like back and forth through Bravo to the point where it didn't happen. And he felt so bad about it because it really is up to them at the end of the day, where he was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Toronto this weekend. Would you like to have a coffee? And he sat down and had a coffee with me for 45 minutes, which is so kind.
Wow,
Again,
that's
right?
so
Like
nice.
it really
Are
was.
you
So I wasn't sure if
changing
he'd
my
remember
Carl
me.
Radke perspective?
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll see how you think about him because, again, he really is just so kind to people. So when we get up there, we give him the picture, right? He's so enamored by it, of course. He shows it to everyone, and he apparently hates Drunk Drawn. You know Drunk Drawn, right?
Okay,
Who
I was
also
going to
does
compare your friend to Drunk John. I love Drunk John,
very
and I
different.
actually used a photo.
I
The
love Drunk Drawn
goldfish
too.
photo. Yeah,
I love Drunk
love
Drawn too, but I think
it's
he's
funny.
upset about a particular one that
The
Drunk Drawn had done of
goldfish?
him. Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
So he literally
Sorry,
out loud
Carl.
says to the crowd, there are other people who have drawn me, and they have drawn me in not such a nice light. And I go, Drunk Drawn. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, so I really like this one. So he was being very interactive in that way. And then you will die when I tell you this. So I was telling him that I have this listener on the pod. Shout out to her. I'm not going to name her because, you know, it's about her personal life, but she knows who she is. You know, her husband is currently in a facility, and he's struggling with his sobriety. And they're actually both reading Carl's book separately, but apart. You know what I mean? They are long distance, obviously,
on
right
their
now.
own, or
Yeah.
they said that they were going to read this separately? Because I'm
Like
like,
they're both reading it together while her husband is
oh,
away.
okay. That's
And the
nice.
husband is having such, you know, like a reaction to it. He's writing in the margins. He's finding it so much more helpful than any sort of self-help book or research that he's done on his own. He has
Wow.
found Carl's story and his sobriety journey to really resonate with him in such a way that it's been so helpful. So I read this to Carl, like I read this notation to him from my listener, and he's like, hey, can I make them a video? I'm like, absolutely. So he takes my phone and he makes a video for my listener and her husband to talk about like how strong my listener's husband is for being on his sobriety journey, and he's going to make it, and he's going to do amazing. And honestly, like that's the thing about Carl.
Oh my God,
The
I'm
one
gonna
thing that he
cry.
really has taken away from all of this is that he wants to at least to have been able to help people. And so that's why I knew he would resonate with that really well, because I know how important it is for him to like help people in all of this. And honestly, it was so nice for me too, even just to make someone so happy. And so it felt like we went there with a purpose, not to just be like fangirling and hanging out with Carl, but it
Yeah.
was so nice that he did that. And oh, and when I gave him the hat, he goes, "It's soft bar green." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize that it's one of the colors of soft bar." So he thought it was so funny. And then we give him the maple syrup and he goes, "Don't tell Luke." And I totally forgot that Luke was like the maple syrup
Oh,
guy.
Vermont. Oh, yeah. Vermont is also
And
like
I'm like,
the
"No, no,
US
this is
version.
Canadian maple syrup." He goes, "You guys keep this in your purse, right?" I'm like, "No," because people think we do. So I thought that was so fun. And just like, he's like, "Yeah, Dana." Oh, and then he goes, and I said, "I really love the podcast." And he goes, "Well, maybe you should come on sometime." And I go, "Me?" And he's
Sign
like,
me
"Yeah,
up.
if you're in New York." I'm like, uh, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Okay." But like, it was just, I can't even tell you. I know obviously you can relate
Oh.
because BravoCon was such an amazing experience, but this was better than that. This was just so much more
Oh.
intimate and it was just like a really nice event. So I just wanted to tell you about it.
Oh my God, thank you for sharing. I feel so lucky to be able to just discuss with this, kind of quote in person. But no, I love that story and experience for you. Like, how sweet is that? That's really nice.
It was so nice.
I
So, well, I was gonna say, like, what are your opinions on Carl, right? I guess, and I'm sure they've changed over time, but like, I feel like a lot of
not
people have
really.
felt no. Okay, so tell me how you feel about it.
No, well, okay, I will say maybe in this moment my mind is changing.
You're allowed to have
I
any opinions you want, though, over here.
Yeah,
No
here's the
judgment.
thing. I feel like maybe I go to the outside world a little hard in the paint with Carl. First of all, I I I don't like hate Carl at all. I think that much like the prosperity preaching or just anything that resonates with you and you're trying to really put yourself out there and help somebody, I think that's amazing. I'm a huge mental health advocate
Same.
and very into therapy and all these things. So that being said, this is going to come across as a bully, and I'm sorry, I'm taking accountability, and God is still working on me.
Okay.
No, he's just not my cup of tea. I've heard that he's really nice. I would be civil with him. I think like I think he's just I have a very strong personality, and I think that he is one of those that in person I would probably just butt heads with because I feel like some of the stuff that he does is performative and fake. And I,
Like what?
you know,
Just out of curiosity.
oh my God, am I gonna get in trouble?
No, no.
I just think that like and again, I'm not trying to be like, kick somebody while they're down, like quote in like a therapy sense, because like I've been there too. Like when I'm trying to work through it, like in real time, and it's like I've kind of missed the mark or whatever. But I feel like
Yeah, and you're
he's
not being filmed either, right? Like we all go through
right.
mistakes and live life, but we don't do it on TV.
And I was gonna say, God forbid I'm filmed. Like,
Right.
I want to be on TV, but
God.
I'm like, I would probably be the villain. Who knows? Who cares? Or I would get like a weird edit, or I would do weird shit and be like, oh my God, why'd I say that? Why'd I do that? Like. But
Yeah.
my thing is, I feel like he weaponizes, in my opinion, I feel like that he weaponizes therapy. Like he uses buzzwords a lot, and especially with the whole dynamic with him and Lindsay, like it just really, in my opinion, there were a lot of holes for me in that, and
Same, same.
I'm glad that Lindsay stood her ground. And I never like disliked Lindsay, and I never have really disliked anybody on the cast per se, but like her being with Carl and the breakup, I hate to say it, but it made me like her more because she literally said everything that I said. I was one of those like yelling at the TV, or not yelling, but like talking to the TV, and then Lindsay would the next scene like immediately say what I was saying. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's my girl represent,
No, I love
because
Lindsay.
he was holding him accountable. And I don't know if Carl was maybe ready for the accountability. I don't know. I do think that he's in a better space now. I do like that he came out with the book and is so vulnerable. I haven't read it yet. I know that some clips were
Neither have
cycling
I.
around. You what?
I haven't read it yet either.
Oh, you haven't read it either. I did listen to some clips that were cycling around, and it was really heavy and vulnerable. And I don't want to like nag anybody who is vulnerable and sharing their story. Like I really want that to be clear and to come across. I think it's just one of those things where like the edits on TV. Like I'm sorry, I'm tired of seeing Carl 8.0. You know what I mean? It's like
See, every year
something
it's like a
is
new. No, I
wrong.
get it. Yeah, and it's like
You
the same
know,
thing
it's
over and
like,
over.
okay, babe, we got it. We got it for the okay, 3.0. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, and it's just I'm very much a patterns person.
Hmm.
And obviously that's another reason why I like reality TV so much, is because I sit there and I analyze it. And as somebody who has done a lot of therapy but is not certified in any way, this is just my, taking an interpretation. It's easy to watch, like I said, 90 Day Fiance, Darcy Silva, we'll get into that, but they are train wrecks. And
Yeah.
and it's easy to watch reality TV and judge for sure. So like, I guess a part of me wants to say, like, the podcast is for your entertainment, and those opinions, like, they may be harsh or they may be just thought provoking or something. Like, I guess it doesn't mean, and maybe this sounds like stupid and contradictory, but it doesn't mean I necessarily subscribe to the opinions of what I'm saying, right? Like, if I were to meet Carl in person, like, I
Your opinion
absolutely
is based on
reserve.
what you're seeing on TV for those 15
Correct.
minutes.
Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely reserve the right to, and the space for me to show up as myself, for Carl to show up as himself, and like, maybe let's see if there's like a genuine connection, right? And I have no pride in terms of, like, calling myself wrong or being like, oh my God, I can't believe I went so hard in the paint, and like, all these things. Like I have no problem looking stupid, to be honest. Like, and some of my opinions are wrong, and I'm okay with changing them and learning new information and allowing people the space to show up as themselves. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the same way because, you know, I really do try to remember the fact that we only see these small snippets of these people. And I truly find that when we do meet them in person, like even at BravoCon, I was just like, oh, this person is a lot more relatable than I thought they were, or this person is a lot
Yeah.
kinder than I thought they were, right? So yes, normalize changing your mind based on new information, but it totally changes whether you meet them or not. But Kyle has been like losing his mind in the comments with us,
Losing.
and I have been thinking this is so funny. So I guess he wasn't sure how this season would play out. We saw him on the last episode basically like out his wife for her weed usage and for leaving the
God
apartment
forbid a
so
girl has a
messy.
chill time.
Dude, and you drink every night. This is him just trying to like, counteract that. But there was this comment. So he's, yeah, leaving all these insane comments online. But he said to someone in one of the comments, I think this is on
Mind you, a
Instagram, he's like,
fan.
yeah, so maybe, just maybe, it's all Amanda's stuff, and that I would normally have a cleaning lady come in if only the cleaning lady could enter and clean. The internet is insanely judgmental for being completely clueless and lacking actual context and facts. The hate is fucking absurd, quite frankly. Okay, there is a concept of cleaning for the cleaning lady. I have to remember that as being a kid. Like, you guys are rich enough that like people will like pack your house for you, right? Like there's services that do that. So I'm sure there are services that'll pick the stuff up for you. So the fact that I guess he was expecting that the fans would be on his side, which is wild. But I don't know. Like, what do you think about him crashing out?
Okay, first of all, as a messy but not dirty girl, I relate to Amanda. And
Messy
if it's
queen.
bothering you as a partner, as a married partner, as a roommate, as a somebody who lives in the same household, pick it the fuck up. You
But
see
she's
me,
always been this way, by the way. Okay. Like for him to act like this is news, when you
new
lived in together, this
information.
was your test for that. And you knew she was messy, whatever. If it bothered you that much, don't marry her. She's always been
Right.
this way.
Right. So, when people are like, what are your red flags? I'm like, I don't clean. Like, I do clean, but I'm not good at it. It overwhelms me so much. I do have a cleaning lady, and she's always like, muy trabajar. And I'm like, sorry, girl, like, help me. But, mind you, I live in like well, now it's a 2-bedroom apartment, but it's like not a house. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anyways, God
Well, do
forbid
you
I
live in
live in
an
a house.
apartment?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm thinking, like, oh, I want to buy a house, but I'm like, God forbid I get a 3-story because, we have a bunch of townhomes. And I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be shit everywhere. Until I think I can like keep my space clean, I shouldn't
Yeah.
move. But, as a certified messy but not dirty girl like Amanda, my thing is like, you see, it's a partnership. You see me depressed. You see me going through something. First of all, what you said, period, point blank. You lived with me before. You dated me for years. You knew who I was. This is not like I get a ring on my finger and all of a sudden I'm turning into like
Right.
some Stepford wife, right? Like,
Exactly.
sorry, this is an area of weakness for me. Okay. So pick it up or hire somebody or help me. Like, you're running a business, I'm running a business, we're filming a show. Like, we're both busy people. This is not the 1950s. And, dinkwads, dual income, no kids with a dog, you know? So I need just as much help as you. And if you want somebody who's going to cook and clean and be a stay-at-home wife, support that then. Don't come
Yeah.
for me. You know what I mean? So I just, Kyle, if you knew this, I
Yeah.
just I don't have sympathy for it. I think it's a low blow. I think he's throwing shit at a wall, hoping it sticks. And I just he has the maturity of like a 25-year-old. I just don't
Yeah.
know like what he's doing.
And I love how like when celebrities or whatever you want to call him are like calling us out, but like look how embarrassing you're being, right? Like the internet's absurd. You're being absurd on the internet right now by responding. You know what I mean? Like tit tat tit tat.
Can I
Anyway,
tell you, I love how ingrained or like online, chronically online the Bravo Lebs are just as much as us. Cause like that I don't want to say that was like a random girl. Like I think she kind of had an account or whatever. I didn't see it too much, but I did read the comment. But he just commented on like a random fan's,
but he's
you
been doing
know,
that a lot. Like ever since they got separated, he is in the comments with the sad faces and the emojis, and it's like, okay,
I don't
you're
know.
being very online about your divorce, but okay.
I'm glad that they're getting divorced. I think I know, like anybody can see it. I know that they loved each other to the best of their ability, but I don't think it was what each other needed. And
Yeah.
I do believe it probably is amicable. I think Kyle's just being Kyle. I think they are amicable because I don't think that they're really in, or at least Amanda. I don't think Amanda is like in love with him anymore. And I think she cares about him as like probably a work partner and, a best friend, but definitely it's just not somebody that um that she wants to spend her life with. And I get it. She gave him time, she gave him a chance, and he didn't want to grow up and got to move on. She's in her
Right.
prime. You know what I
She really
mean?
is.
And I am proud of her. Now, do I wish she would have not got married? Yeah, because she could have been famous and just been engaged and like done her thing in her
Yeah.
swimsuit and like whatever. But at the end of the day, like again, I do think they really loved each other. And I think what she said on her confessional, I think episode 1, where she was like, I thought, you find somebody, you get married, and it's all hunky dory. And you know what I'm thinking? Is she from the South at all? Where's she?
I think she's from
She's
New
from
Jersey.
Jersey. That's such a Southern mentality because it's very much like that here. Like
Yeah.
I have the most, even though I don't care, like it feels like this like cloud. And like when I lived in LA, I did not think that. Like in
Yeah.
California, like I didn't really have those feelings, but um I totally empathize with her and saying that and then waking up and being like, "Oh, I don't want this anymore." Okay,
Yeah.
bye. You know?
I mean, yeah, I still think like it's clearly, I think she's so clearly over it because it's almost like how she was talking about getting used to it, right? Where like he's not home, he's not around. So she just got used to that. So when you get divorced, it's like, okay, that's really no different from when we were together, if you think about it. Anyway, let's move on to the Traitors because we have a lot there. Okay. So we are going to do a
My
little bit
favorite
of
show.
a recap of episode 9. But what's funny about it is, I mean, first of all, everybody spoiled that for me because I didn't end up watching it until yesterday. But everyone spoiled it by
Wait,
being like, well, now.
the whole season or just
No,
the
no,
episode?
just episode 9.
Oh, okay.
But like people like because Dorinda was literally gone by first scene, right? So everybody sort of ruined it for me in that way, being like, well, all the housewives are gone now. I'm like, so
I
Dorinda's
got
gone
spoiled
now.
for that too, actually, but that was my bad because usually I watch it like Thursdays for that
Yeah,
reason.
I was so
But
busy for some reason. I
I
forget what I
think
was doing.
because Candace, like, I was just like, oh my God, now I can breathe. I don't care. Anybody can win. Like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? So I watched it on Friday.
But what do you think about Eric? And like, it's obviously not his personality to become a traitor. I think it was an interesting move on Rob's part because, the reasons he gave were funny to me. He's like, I trust him, this and that. But in my mind, I was thinking, you're picking him because he's so easy to manipulate in my mind. Like, I feel like he would just do whatever Rob told him to do because he's afraid. But like, I don't know. What do you think of that pick?
I thought it was very wild card.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm with you. I was like, are you guys even friends or like alliances in the cast? Now, first of all, I do love Eric.
His facial expressions.
I've become like fond of him when he's like Johnny, and it's like the most man
His
like
dead ass wrong
handwriting.
takes are killing me.
Yeah, and then he's like, Tiffany, it was your laugh, and everybody is like Eric with the magic ears. Like I'm loving it,
A
and
man
it's
who
much
does
like
not know
Dylan.
pitch.
Yeah, I know, much like Dylan Efron last year with the what did Bob give him for his drag name? Oh, misguided.
Misguided, right?
Yeah, yeah. I love that. So they're all in like our inside jokes. Like I really love that. I I think it was weird. And after I guess I don't want to. Well, no, it's like we have to spoil it because like we gotta. You guys
No,
have 24
we're
hours
talking
to
about it, yeah.
watch the damn episode. But like I think also Rob chose him because I think you're right with the manipulation, and I think because it would be easy to all point to Eric because he's gonna fumble because
Yeah, you're
Kristen in the
right.
kitchen was like, I'm thinking of you. And Eric's like,
Because he's
So it's
what's the word? Like he doesn't have good game face. Like what's the word I'm looking for when
poker face.
poker face, right? He has
Yeah.
the worst poker face because he has so many faces. He's so animated in his face
Animated.
that he's gonna ruin it for himself.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I'm interested to see if he lasts like one more episode because I
Yeah.
think Kristen is really onto him. And I thought Rob was like singing in the streets because he was like, I told Eric, and then now all of a sudden I'm in the box up for, and Rob is probably like, oh, I love like perfect, like the universe is on my side. I have to say, I want Snake Daddy to win. I've clocked it since the first episode.
I think
He's
he
a
is at this
Scorpio. I
point.
think he's like a double Scorpio, but you know, not all Scorpios are stealth. Like
I'm a
Angie K is a
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Oh, you are? Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you're animated and like Angie's animated. I don't know that she would make a good traitor, you know,
Uh,
but Candace has a Scorpio moon.
okay.
I think she does. I thought she saved it. I really thought she was gonna be like X on like the third episode, and then she like saved it and like spun
Yeah.
it around.
But then
I don't know.
somehow, because Rob is so hot, and this is what the discourse is online right now, no one has noticed him at all, first of all, or the fact that Candace was calling him out. Because if Candace is a traitor, then then she knows who the other traitors are. So you guys, the fact that she has given two like throwaway votes to Rob, or then coming for Rob in her final episode, put the dots together, you guys, but you can't because you're
That's
just like
so funny.
you were so enamored by him.
With him and Maura and Eric, and Maura was like, but Candace's throwaway vote. And then he goes,
Throwaway.
I think she was just, you know, whatever he said when he was laying on the couch. And then
Yeah.
him and Eric was already a secret or, you know, traitor, but Maura was like, oh yeah, you're right. And then it like the camera pans to him and he's like smiling on the couch. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's wild. It's wild that he gets away with this. And then we end up losing Steven. And it kind of was coming
I
down to
hate
Johnny or
that.
Steven. I mean, Steven to me, there's like a pile of these people at this point where it's like Steven, Mark, like people who have not made a peep this whole time. So I don't really, I mean, their reasoning seemed to have more to do with coming off fake, I guess, in the morning, being like, I thought I was going home. I thought I was going home. And Lisa giving him, I guess, whatever it was, the gold or the prize or whatever in one of the challenges. But that wasn't on him. She gave it to him. I don't know. I feel like that was a throwaway vote to me.
I think that was a
giving
throwaway
traitor
vote
to me.
too.
Yeah.
And then also how they're coming for Johnny. I mean, Tara, I'm just like reading Tara's face too because like it takes everything in me and her, like I'm like her right now to be like, you know, when Kristen was like, I think you're the traitor, she was like, me? Like I would have just said like if that were me, I would be like, oh my God, I'm honored. Like, wow, you think I'm like sneaky, you know? But now they finally have figured out that Tara and Johnny are best friends.
Well, not figured out. They had to tell them. Okay. Like they had to tell them.
Right.
They had to announce it. If you guys have not noticed, we are attached to the hip.
That is just, I'm just like, you guys didn't do book reports on them in like third and third grade and like junior high, and it shows, you know. But then they're like, Johnny is it, and then you know everybody. I mean, the dominoes really are kind of falling into place for them. Like I do feel bad because I think they are just not good at the game.
But look how far they've made it, right? Just sometimes the quiet ones get by.
I know. I gotta shut the fuck up if I ever make it on there.
That's how I know I would be so bad at it because I cannot shut the fuck up. But that being said, we had the reunion film just a couple of days ago. Andy Cohen was hosting it. And so here's the tea that allegedly came out of
Okay.
it. So Colton has unfollowed Lisa. Okay. And it is alleged that he walked off the reunion set, threatened not to return because Lisa asked him about him holding her hostage, like that comment that he made. So allegedly he did come back, but nobody was allowed to reference his stalker past. And like, I just don't understand why this guy is getting this level of like, we're not allowed to talk about certain things. Like, who gives you this authority? Like, this is the reunion, man. And I know it's supposed to be about the show, but for the first time, I feel like I'm excited for the reunion for the first time because I feel like there's actually so much that happened off the show and on social media and stuff that I feel like there is a lot of rhetoric for. And I do understand, sorry, just for argument's sake, I do understand that like he has spoken about his past with Cassie, his time on The Bachelor, but I kind of think it's unfair for him to decide when we're done talking about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I got put in Threads jail for bringing up his stalker past,
What's
and
Threads
I
jail? Like you
well,
got,
I couldn't post on Threads. By the way, love them, shout out,
yeah,
or
the threads.
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram
Happened.
for like maybe 12 hours or something. I assume that's what it was. I just like couldn't post. I could post on my story,
I
but
talked
it
about
like
it.
my yeah, that's what pissed me off because everybody was talking about it and I did not even say anything bad or like cuss. I just was like, I feel like one
I
of the
didn't say
quote
a
first
swear. I
ones.
swear.
I didn't even cuss this time. Like I feel like I was quote one of the first ones to be like not first, but like just, whatever. Like to be like, "Oh, are we just going to skate by Colton's like stalker pass or something?" I said the word
Yeah, yeah.
stalker and got thrown in jail. And then but I'm seeing everybody else come out and I'm like, "What the hell?" And then I can't comment on the threads and I can't comment on posts, but I can post Instagram stories and that's about it. I don't know. It ended up lifting the ban, but that was like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, so we protect men. Got it.
Got it. Well, I'll let you say what else you wanted to say now. I want to give you that opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, I just something about Colton really rubs me the wrong way. I think it's weird that he was like, "Oh, I'm a football player," like that was his title, when
Even though
really
you barely played, man.
you barely played and he was on like a free agent or whatever that is. I don't know sports at all. But and it just like really also like his eyes were like very like and like sinister and
Yeah.
I don't like the way I agree with you. I don't like the way that it makes me want to talk about it more that you're like trying to shut it down
Hmm.
and you don't want to take accountability and you're like okay, like, yeah, I did this, whatever. I said sorry. I took accountability. Let's move on. Now I'm gay and I married a man and I have a baby. Like, we're moving on. And my title is football player. I don't even associate with The Bachelor. I don't even associate with Cassie. Like, it's very sinister in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I also don't like the way, like, I don't like his outfits on Traitors. I don't, I love the LGBTQIA, but I feel like he is like cosplaying as a gay man. I don't know if that makes sense. Do
Interesting.
you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I think not Monet, somebody else on Threads commented because I'm like loving Threads more than
No, I'm
Twitter.
obsessed with threads.
Said something about like, oh, like the LGBTQIA community like doesn't want Colton, like you can have him back, like blah blah. And like he like
Oh,
Colton
those
like
Preston Mitchum. I think he said that.
okay, yeah.
Yes.
Colton was like the only one that or like
Responded
responded
to it.
only to him.
Yes, I
And he
remember
was
this.
like, this is so like what the hell,
Like this is
So
mean, and this is yeah. I'm a
yeah,
happy
I just
guy. Why are you being mean to me?
yeah, I just it's very victim mindset. It's weird. I think he scares me. Like he
Yeah.
does scare me. And I think and also his comments like he was trying to be so funny and like, "Oh, I came in being scared of housewives and now I just took one out." Whatever.
You could
I
never.
don't know.
Oh,
Wait, do
but
you
what's
love
funny,
him?
by
You
the
don't,
way?
right?
No, I hate him. But
Okay.
one funny thing I just want to say because Threads gifted me Lisa Rinna's book, so shout out Threads. But I
Oh, I
was
love
just
that.
looking through it just very quickly for any little bits of tea, and in the epilogue, there's one line. It literally, and so now I'm wondering when this book was written because the line says, "But it's like I said." I was Lisa fucking Rinna before Housewives, and I will be Lisa fucking Rinna after. And she said that on the Traitors. Is this
I
a
think
line that
she
she has
wrote it.
said before?
No, but I think she wrote it. I think she wrote it last year, like 2024, some 24, 25, because I remember um people talking about like the book and like or like the cover and like the font and how people are I don't know, I kind of like it, but it's not that airbrush font that everybody
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Dorit's like everybody uses. Um so that's funny. She probably like was like, "Oh, that's good." And now that's her
Yeah.
tagline
So
or
I was like,
something.
wait, I know that line. She just said that, right? She just said that on the Traitors. I thought that was so
Oh my God,
crazy.
I love that. I want to
Yeah.
read her book too. Like I love Lisa Rinna. Oh, can I tell you, I served her one time in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like papers,
Her,
like you've been served
no,
like that. Oh, wait,
no, like
you
at a
mean like at a
restaurant.
restaurant?
Yeah. Oh my God, I
Imagine.
wish I'd probably make more money if I was like a court server or whatever. That's so funny. No, no,
Sweet
no.
legal documents. You meant as a waitress.
As a waitress, babe, as a waitress. Her and Harry Hamlin. She was really nice. I mean, I think this is before Housewives or right when she got on, but I wasn't really. No, I was. I've always watched it with Lisa. So this is like right before Housewives, but obviously I've known Lisa Rinna. Like she's
Yeah,
iconic, one for her lips,
iconic.
and also just I knew she was a soap star. So like
Yeah,
again, like I just know
days of
things
our
about
lives. Like,
people.
yeah,
Yeah,
iconic.
even if I don't watch the show, or like I knew she was. I was like, oh my God, that's Lisa Rinna. And then the girl next to me was like, who? And I'm just like, it's Lisa
You
Rinna.
shut your
Lisa
stupid hole.
Rinna.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
but no,
let's
she
move
was
on to the
great. She
Real
was
Housewives
nice.
of Salt Lake City because apparently renewal letters have gone out and there's been a little bit of tea about this. I thought this was really fascinating. So I'm going to read you this
Okay.
message that I found. This is like a kind of like a Dumois blind type of thing that I saw. So it says renewal letters have gone out to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City ladies for season 7, and they include a new mega clause, which is non negotiable for all new and renewing cast. It's called the Narrative Integrity Clause. Basically, the cast are not allowed to create, influence, or leak storylines about the show or other cast members off camera. This includes including third parties as a proxy. Any on camera discussion about unverified activity will be cut from the final edit, and any verified activity is punishable on a scale that includes financial penalties, loss of screen time, demotion, and firing. Production isn't fucking around. They're tired of grasping at straws with this bunch, and they know they need to regain control. The clause has had a mixed reception amongst the cast. Two of them are holding out on renewing hope it will push production to cave. They won't. And they've got a short list of potential new housewives to backfill spots if needed.
Oh, T. Yeah,
Wow.
please. I'm sick of
I,
it. I'm sick
you're
of
right.
off-camera shit. Same with, I know this is not
You're going to say OC,
Housewives.
right?
Well, that and I was gonna say actually Selling Sunset. Do you watch
What?
that on
Yeah, but what
Netflix?
are they doing off camera?
Well,
Oh,
no,
you
no,
mean
no.
all the
Sorry. The reunion was completely not about the season. And they're like, well,
right,
this
right.
off camera and that. And I'm over it. I'm
Yes.
over
If we
that.
don't know
I'm
what you're
over
talking about or it wasn't filmed, even the whole plane stuff, which I wish we had gotten to see, that wasn't their
irritates
fault. But
me.
at the
I don't
same
want to.
time, we can't talk about something that we don't have evidence of, right?
And then it's like, why is this such a major part of the season when we don't even know it doesn't fit in our storyline? Like that
Or
might
even
have
the
happened
TikTok.
to
Can we see the TikTok? You know what I mean?
post it. You guys posted Jax's fling that he had with the tits and the bikini. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't have posted the TikTok. It does make me feel like it's a lie because you're telling me production wasn't on the plane, production didn't pull out their phone. Like something about it is just so sus and so like I don't know. And then I heard that somebody gave production like a cease and desist to never do this is alleged. So, and I don't know where I heard it, but just through the grapevine about how, and I believe allegedly it was Meredith gave production a cease and desist so like they couldn't show the film footage or something. But I don't know. I don't know why. Like, what does she have amount of money has on the production? I don't think that was true.
I don't even if she tried that, I don't think they'd give into it. I think this is becoming a running problem on all of the shows. I was listening to a
But
podcast today that
Salt
Bryce
Lake
Sander
City
was
is the
on from
worst.
Entertainment Tonight, and he made such a good point that these shows used to be about the lives of these women, but now it's become about them being on the show. right? So it's you're releasing stuff to try to get me in trouble on the show, or you're trying to do this and that for the show. And so, but that being said, the season with Monica Garcia and Reality Bontees, they kept their mouths shut with that. Like we didn't hear a peep on it. But I also heard that this season Salt Lake City wasn't allowed to get screeners in advance because they were worried about them
Oh.
releasing things from the episode. So I guess it's come to the point where they really can't trust the cast. So I think it's a mixture of like them releasing tea to the public or to bloggers or whatever you want to call it, slash all of the topics are about things that are happening off camera or in ways where they're trying to sabotage each other. Like, I mean, that message to me is so specific. Like, it really seems like they are getting pissed off with these ladies who are trying to self-produce in a way where they're involving other people.
Right. And I sorry, I don't watch OC, but I know what you mean with the Katie and
The whole season was about the blogger of it all, right? The
right.
whole
I'm
season.
sick of it. I'm sick because you know what? Put Kiki Monique on. Bring her in. You know what I mean? Like I just yeah, now the wait, what was Monica's Von Teese? What was it?
Reality Bontees.
Reality Von Teese. Like now that was good because it ended up being Monica and like whatever. And yeah, like I feel like we didn't really, but then I still think Meredith and Lisa and I don't know, whoever else, it wasn't just Monica. Like I do think previous to Monica, Meredith was releasing information to, whoever. And like Lisa's now doing it.
I heard
And
they all have burner accounts and that they are all releasing info.
I
So
just think that's
pot kettle black, you
weird.
guys. And that's why maybe production is like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
And
It's come to the
and
point
can
where we
I
can't even wrangle in what's going on here.
And you know what? And maybe that's why in addition to like just BravoCon in general, but like I think that's why I was also on like a reality TV cleanse for a bit because like I'm over turning on my TV and seeing people throwing drinks and fighting and whatever. Like that's why I love old Roni so much and never really been a Ramona fan, but at least Luann, and I'm sorry, I know Luann might be a little controversial, but she is one of my number one housewives because I think she understands the assignment and she just pushes it along. And her and Dorinda and even Bethany, I mean, they know how to push it
They
along. They
know
know
what,
how to
yeah,
squash the beef and move along. And they are
exactly.
all genuine, real friends or have some sort of relationship. Could not watch the reboot of Roni because I remember I never finished like season quote one or whatever it was, and they were in Antigua or Antilla, whatever, and they were just I think this is I don't know maybe like the fourth or fifth episode, and they're just sitting at breakfast. This is the last episode that I watched, and I was like, I cannot do this. They're sitting at breakfast, and it's like 8:30 in the fucking morning. They barely have coffee, and they're at each other's throats, and I'm like, no, hell no, hell no,
Isn't
no.
real. Well, I'm
And then
glad you
with
brought up Old Roni because we're actually just going to talk about that now because we're going to move on to the Golden Life. So the Golden
yes.
Life, I'm sure you heard, was going to be that reboot show that E was going to do with the OG Roni cast. And the way Jill Zarin fumbled the ball on that so quickly is impressive. So we're not going to get into the full Super Bowl details of it all because I did talk about that briefly last week and I talked about what Jill said, but we'll talk about the aftermath, which was
Mhm.
first, the fans were going crazy online. She was losing followers. Taylor Armstrong was losing followers. And then Zarin Fabrics came out with this hilarious, and I say hilarious only because they put up a picture of her face with like an X through it and then made a statement saying Zarin Fabric stands firmly against racism, discrimination, and rhetoric that seeks to exclude or diminish people based on identity, culture, or background. We want to be absolutely clear that Jill Zarin has not had ownership or been associated with Zarin Fabrics for several years. Our company operates independently, and any public statements attributed to her are made in a personal capacity and do not reflect our values, beliefs, or operations. Zarin Fabrics is built on creativity, collaboration, and respect for the diverse communities that shape art, culture, and expression. We condemn language or viewpoints that undermine those principles, and we remain committed to fostering an inclusive and welcoming environment in everything that we do. So apparently this was Bobby's company, like Bobby Zarin, her previous
Oh,
husband
okay.
who had passed away. And I guess because of the name, they wanted to make sure that there was like no association.
Okay, because I was confused of why I thought it
Why they
was
were saying.
Jill's company. Yeah, and well, no,
Yeah.
not that, but just like why they wouldn't, if they acquired it, why they wouldn't change the name. But if it's Bobby's, that makes more
Right,
sense.
because it was
Like,
Bobby Zarin. And then she ends up getting fired from the show, right? And it's funny because I don't know about you out in the reality TV or even just the online zeitgeist right now. I feel like I've been kind of going head to head with people on certain topics. But when this happened, it really felt like the entire Bravo community came together in solidarity and we're like, yeah, you were activists again. And it felt nice to be all united in a common.
yeah.
I always say there's nothing that unites people more than their mutual hatred of a singular person. And this worked, right? So she ends up responding something to the effect of in touch. She said, like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm a human. I wasn't even given the chance. I took it down right away. But it's the human of it all to me because it's like a human wouldn't necessarily say no white people, right? I mean, that's just not something that is humane to say. And so it's also something that you said. You know, you took the time to record it. You allegedly, your family told you not to put it up. You did it anyways. And the internet lives forever. It doesn't matter how quickly you took it down. You took the time to make it, right? You believe those things. You're not sorry because those are the things that you believe. And it was just really disappointing to even just see that response to say, like, I'm human. If this was the first time, right? And I don't believe in like canceling people on a dime, right? Of course not. But when there's been multiple things, right? Like if this was Ramona, we wouldn't be surprised, but we'd have to kick her off the show as well. How many chances are you going to give people to do the right thing?
Well, and how about oh shoot, I've drawn a blank at her daughter, but her daughter
Um, Ali Shapiro. Ali
Allie.
Shapiro.
Okay, I was like, I knew it was an A. She came out and was like, I loved, the Super Bowl, like whatever, and was like, I don't agree with my mom's statements, basically, and blah blah blah. As a Sagittarius, I have to say we have some really annoying and bad Sagittarius on Bravo.
Okay.
Okay. And Jill's a Sagittarius, and I don't.
Wait, as a fellow redhead, is it more offensive to you, or is it more as a Sagittarius?
Is Jill a redhead?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I thought
I
it
don't
was
know if
like
that's her OG hair, but
I guess you're right. The Sagittarius, I will say both. I get both, I guess, but definitely Sagittarius because like we're supposed to be light and funny and like the jester of, and I really am like I would like to think that I am. I'm not very in jest. Okay, I'm not jesting. I'm not laughing. Jill
right,
Zarin, and
right.
I saw something else that was like Jill Zarin, it took Jill Zarin 4 years to get back on TV and 40 minutes to destroy it. And I love that. And you know what? I do love the accountability. E was like, no. And I have to say, unpopular opinion, I was really gung ho for this show. I mean, I still am. They replaced it with Dorinda. Hell yeah, it's Sagittarius. She knows how to keep it going.
Well, I just want to mention something just for the clarity's sake. They didn't actually replace her with Dorinda. Dorinda was
Oh,
apparently always supposed to be on the cast
oh,
as in more of like a friend of capacity. So she was apparently always supposed to do it, but it was going to be more of a surprise that was going to be released later. They decided to release
oh.
this news now in view of, what's going on. So
Save the show.
but amazing news because when I heard what the cast was going to be, I was like, okay, great. But I wish Dorinda was there. So I'm really jazzed about Dorinda.
What do you think about now? I feel like you're more in the know about this, about them go because like Luann and Dorinda both have, Love Hotel and then Traitors with Bravo and Peacock. So I guess how does that work? People were like, I'm surprised that Bravo is letting them go to E. I saw some comments about that, but I guess I don't really
Mhm.
know the
You know,
production side.
I don't know a ton, but I don't think it's a rival network. I mean, people keep talking about it being separate things. Again, I don't know all the details, but I do think it is under one NBC Universal umbrella anyway. I'm not quite
Oh, they are
sure.
NBC? Okay.
Because think about Dorinda even just being on Sirius XM Radio Andy, right? Like so she's connected in that way. But yeah, I think eventually I think the only one that is super separate is Hulu and Netflix. I think you're not
Okay.
allowed to be on Netflix and something else. I think that's why Nick Vile allegedly wasn't allowed to host the last Secret Lives reunion because that's a Hulu thing and he has that new pedophile dating
Oh,
show. So
Oh, the
the
age
age gap
gap.
dating
Oh,
show.
I was like, what's that? Yeah, the age gap. Is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I if it's dropped, I haven't watched it, and I
No, it
probably
hasn't
won't watch
dropped yet.
it.
They just dropped a
Yeah.
trailer, but he wasn't in the trailer, which I thought was kind of odd as well.
Interesting.
Anyways, I guess we'll see what comes of this, but I think it's interesting when people have said out in, online that there was a reason these people were no longer on TV anymore anyways. We kind of think about the fact that they canceled Roni too soon and maybe they overreacted, but then this happens and we're like, no, maybe they did make the
And
right
can I say
decision.
that too? I want to talk about Taylor Armstrong, and then I
Yeah,
also want to talk about like I'm I am over the reboots and the
yeah,
recycled cast. You're telling me out of 8 billion people in the world, you can't find more interesting people. And I just like let's give it up, or let's do like a different show. Like, I think Bravo is maybe a little bit behind in that way. Like, in term, and I don't know really how production works at all. And I do know that everybody works extremely hard and it does take a while to get things off the ground. But like, we finally got Love Hotel, and like, I love that. But like, we could have done that, before with Luann and whatever. And like,
yeah.
we're just now getting the city on, for Summer House. And it's like, I feel like we're a season or two behind on that. And it's like, now we're doing a reboot Roni. Now we're doing a reboot Vanderpump. Now we're doing a reboot Shaw's. Don't get me started on the title. But it's just like,
The
and I
title.
do love Shaw's. Shaw's is the
No,
exception in
I
this.
love the show, hate the title. I feel the exact same way.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm
Hate the
just
title.
like, let's like, but you're telling me there's nobody script in the cast. I mean, in the trash, there's nobody like pitch in the trash or an intern that's like, we should do this and that. Like, you're telling me that we like are quote so out of ideas that like we have to recycle. And I know it's the same thing as Pixar and Disney, and like they just want to guarantee a money, like it make money.
Yeah,
I'm like, I get that, I guess, but as an artist, I absolutely don't. So that does bother me.
yeah. So let's move on to Love is Blind. We just had
Okay.
season 10 come out, episodes 1 to 6 of Ohio. Are you watching this season, first of all?
Not watching. I have to say, Love is Blind is my least favorite
Really?
dating show. Yeah,
Really?
it's just not. I watched season one and I watched the North Carolina one. But it's not something that I'm like, ooh, I'm sad. Like,
That's not your thing.
I just think it's like a lot, like the narcissism like runs really deep and it like stresses me out, you
Yeah.
know?
I have always enjoyed this show, not because I believe in love at first or behind a wall or anything like that. I've always
Or
just found it really
narcissism.
messy and interesting, right? No,
Yeah,
I
no, it
believe
is.
in that, but I believe it's rampant. But
Yeah.
this season for me is not hitting. Like I love this show. I love it. And I can't get into it. And I don't know what's wrong with me. And I want to try to give it a chance because it is something I love. That being said, there is a cast member I do not love. His name is
Okay.
Steve. And before the season came out, but after the cast members were announced, there was a few women who came out in the comments on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff and were saying that he S8'd them. So I will issue a very quick trigger warning for this. We're not going to go into all of those details. I did do that on previous episodes. So we have talked about the fact that there were 3 different women who came forward. Obviously, that's not something that production could have done something about because all of these incidents allegedly happened after filming, because we know how long ago these things film, right? So unfortunately, all of these incidents happened after. That being said, we found out about it before the episodes aired, so I was wondering if they were going to try to take him out in some way. They didn't. But now this man has the audacity to be suing one of these women for defamation. And I am just like, sir, this is narcissism 101. Okay. Like this is wild. It's hard enough for a woman to come forward regardless to then have that person say, like, not only did I not, which you have the right to say, it's two sides to every story, but then I think it's his way or a narcissist's way to try to prove that they didn't do it because now I'm going to sue you for it. And then in that way, I am right because I would never be suing you for something unless I was right in the first place. And like
Which
this
is
woman did come forward
so
with like some
crazy.
evidence, right? Like there's no
Mhm.
obvious like hard and fast evidence when it comes to this kind of thing, but she had like screenshots and like stories and texts that she had posted at the time that the incident had happened. So she had all those things where she was talking to friends about it and things that had gone on. It didn't just come up out of nowhere, but like Oh, that makes me so mad to sue a woman accusing you of assault. I hate. I don't like this.
I mean, it's giving gaslighting 101. I think it's crazy, and I need more information about like casting because
But it
like
happened
I
after. That's the thing. It wouldn't have shown up in any record.
oh, it happened after they
Yeah.
filmed.
Yes. So even the
Uh,
girl is saying, like, I don't blame production because this happened after the filming. So any background check they would have done would have shown up in the clear because she hadn't gone to the
oh.
police as well. So, which again,
Mm.
lots of women don't,
This
right? That's
is
very
yeah,
understandable. We don't even need to get into the why, right? And she
yeah,
actually is considering still going because the statute of limitations has not yet passed. But regardless, there's so many reasons why women don't. But
of
regardless,
course.
for him to turn like it's one thing to come forward. It's one thing to go through the criminal justice system. It's all of that. But to have somebody try to sue you for you saying that they harmed you, like, can you imagine? Can you imagine I murdered like okay, I'm trying
I
to make
know,
it
and
like
then you're
it's
like,
a
and
scenario.
then well, and then the person comes back from the dead. But
Right, they
like,
come back from the
yeah,
dead.
it's like you like I murdered somebody and then now
Yeah.
I'm suing the
Yeah,
family
you
for
make
like
it better.
defamation. Yeah, it doesn't I know, I know exactly what you're saying. Like it just to me that's such a yeah, narcissistic self-denial, not living in reality, egotistical, inflated sense of self that you think that you are so above what you did and this and like you think that you're more it's serial killer mindset because you think that you're so clever and you're above anybody else like you're above like serial killers are like that. They're like, I'm smarter than anybody else, I'll never get caught, and
Yeah.
most of them do. No, I just think it's so repulsive to me that I'm like I have no words. Like
Yeah.
I'm just
There are no
I don't
words. There are
even
no words.
yeah, I don't even want to give them like the light of day. And same with Colton and same with like anybody else that does that. So okay, so you said season 6. So they're out of the pods now. I mean
Season
episode 6,
10.
sorry. So they're out of the pods.
Barely, dude. Barely. They were in the
Okay.
pods till episode 5.5.
Okay.
And maybe
Oh
that's the
wow.
problem I'm having because that's too much pod time. Too much pod
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to see you like interacting.
We just got to Mexico and I'm like, okay, let's move on to 90 Day Fiance. As
Ah,
you
favorite
know, this
show.
is like the fucking best show. And there's so many iterations of it. Right now, I'm covering before the 90 days on Tuesdays, but we are also just finishing up Toe the other way. That just finished. And then we just got a whole new season of The Single Life. So we have such a fun cast of characters on there. Unfortunately, we have Gino back, but we have
I don't
Kimberly. You don't know
crazy,
Gino?
but
You know Gino.
no, I know
Okay.
him. I'm saying him and Jasmine are just like, oh my God, the last season of Happily Ever After with him, and then
That
we
was
had
wild.
Yara and
Matthew.
Jovi. That
Yeah.
oh my God, I just thought that in Darcy, I just thought that was like the best casting.
Yeah.
Like that was like one of their best castings this last season of Happily Ever
Yeah, for
After.
sure. But The
Yeah.
Single Life is it's actually pretty good this season. I'm really into it. They have Kim on it this year of like Kim Bali. So she was
Yes,
with, I
and
remember. Oh my
Kim
God.
has the hot son, right?
Yes. And so was she not with Soulja Boy?
Yes,
That was her
yes,
partner,
yes.
right? And he would call
Yes,
her
yes,
Kim
yes.
Bali. So yeah, she has the hot
Oh,
son
yes, yes,
Jamal,
it's
who also
Kimberly.
dated Veronica of Veronica and Tim, right? So there's so much crossover on this show. But we've seen Kim and Jamal for a few seasons now, right? And there is sort of like this running trope with this show where it's like, not this show specifically, but I definitely say like the OG 90 Day or even the other way, where it's like, I am in love with this person from overseas, but I have this big secret that I haven't told them yet. And that's going to be like my storyline. So to be all the way at The Single Life, to have seen Kim and Jamal for several years, to find out that there are still more secrets, I am like kind of aghast at. So we
Wait,
get this,
who's Jamal? Jamal's the
her son.
the son. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wait,
But
they
I'm
have a
just,
secret?
yeah, I'm about to tell you what it is.
Oh my God, please, I'm
Okay.
on pins and needles.
Okay. Because I was just like, don't you think we've heard everything there is to know about these people? But no, there was a whole big ass secret. Okay. So Kim shows up on The Single Life to say that she placed a child for adoption before Jamal and another child before that. Okay. So she placed two children up for adoption before Jamal with her husband. Like they have the same parents. right? So I guess in
With Jamal. So she has three
yes,
kids with the husband, Jamal's
yes. So
fully biological siblings.
Jamal has two biological siblings, like full siblings, and he just found out. She
My
just told him.
Botox is setting in, but
No,
I'm like ruining it because I'm so oh my, I'm shocked.
right? Isn't that shocking? So she makes this statement online. So I'm going to read it. It's a picture of her and her son, Larry. So this is my son, Larry, who I placed for adoption. Our relationship is growing and improving every day. We are forever grateful to his adoptive mom and family. They gave him a life I couldn't have. And because of them, he grew into the amazing man he is today. As you saw, I have a daughter too, and we'll post about her at another time. We are taking everything day by day. Telling my authentic story and living in full transparency has been incredibly freeing. I didn't handle this journey perfectly with Jamal or Larry, and that's something I will always regret. But growth often comes with hard truths. I am deeply thankful for Jamal, Larry, and my family, and my newfound family, especially my mom, as she has been there every step of the way, and my circle of friends for the love and support they gave me as I found the courage to tell my story. I'm not asking for anyone to understand, only for grace. My life hasn't been easy, sometimes by my own choices and sometimes at the hands of others, but I've learned how strong and resilient I am today. Today, I live free of my past. Thank you to everyone who has stood by me. Love y'all, Kimberly. And I mean,
Wow. I have to say, I love her actually. I think that she woke up from Soja Boy. She actually changed. She took 90 Day by the horns. Jamal was on board because everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's hot as hell," and he is. And like they have a good personality. Like it's not baby girl Lisa's
right.
like weird whatever. Like oh my God. And you know what? And I'm gonna let you give more info since you're caught up, but I will say as a disclaimer, you know, good for Kim. I think that does suck to, be married to your husband. And I'm sure it was a hard decision. And I'm sure, especially if somebody that you love, and then, this happened twice, and then you probably feel guilty and, you kept the third one. And maybe it wasn't even just guilt. Maybe she was in a better financial space to care for Jamal and like raise him.
It was
So
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and you know what? I wish more people would do that. Like I
But I think
wish,
Jamal is just really upset that like she kept this
of
secret from
course.
him, for
Of
so long.
course. And yeah, of course. And I think that this is shocking, but I just kind of want to be on Kimberly's side and, we're just girls at the end of the day and we're doing the best that we can. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids and I don't have a like family. I don't talk to, my parents or anything like that. So I don't know. But I think that's everybody's dynamic. And I guess, yeah, if they are so close and have that open and honest communication, especially being on TV, like you didn't think like I'm glad she was able to come out with a statement and not somebody outing her, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, that's very true. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
curious to see where this all goes, but like 90 Day continuing to
So
give us tea.
so she's on the single life, not on like couch commentary, right? So
Right.
she's like on
Right.
it.
She's on the
Okay.
single life. Yeah.
Now tell me, I'm on pins and needles because I know this just aired and I'm behind. I fucking love 90
It's only one
Day.
episode.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
one
You
of
can
my
totally catch
okay,
up.
good, good, good. Julia, what is
Yeah.
she on there?
So they're doing this weird, right? They have three of them on vacation together. So it's
Okay.
Liz of Ed and Liz, who has never really been a 90 Day person, technically. She was, yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
Liz of Ed and Liz, then Julia's there, and Sophie of Sophie and Rob. Oh, so they're all in the Dominican Republic to go visit Pedro because Sophie is into Pedro of Pedro and Chantel. They're just crossing the
Chantel.
crossover in here. Now, Julia, they have not explained why she is there. It almost seems like she's wing womaning them and just being there as a support, but no one has said
Okay.
that. She is obviously pregnant. She is married
Oh, she
to
is pregnant?
Brandon.
Okay.
So explain it, right? Just give us like a stupid one
Right.
liner to explain why she's here, but they have not. So it makes no sense.
Do you like Julia and Brandon?
I, but they're fun TV. I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
I think
They're weird. He's controlling in ways. She's immature in ways. I don't think they want the same thing. The parents are too involved.
I was gonna
It's a
say the
lot.
parents are
Yeah.
crazy. Siblings are dating, nobody
Yeah.
knows. But yeah, I need to watch that. I did watch The Hunt for Love or
Yes.
whatever. I didn't finish it, but that was a great show too. Because I liked how they had like normies and then the 90 Dayers, although they really only filmed the 90 Dayers. Like they didn't film
Yeah.
the normies there. Um But I mean, I love how fast TLC spits shows out. I mean, this is the best franchise if you ever want to be like an armchair expert or like
Absolutely.
analyze or exercise your therapy skills. I
Yes.
have I have to
It's so
say
true.
I have talked about when Darcy was really on it, I have talked about like the older or like OG cast in therapy. And I'm like, okay, I would like to discuss this that I saw. And I know that's crazy to like, gossip with your therapist about reality TV, but it's just, things that I
But no,
no,
totally. And sometimes it's relatable in a way. Like you're watching something on TV and you're like, oh, am I like this? And you kind of want to talk to your therapist about it. It's like, is what I just watched on reality TV normal? Or, is it okay that I
or am I off? Yeah.
right,
What
right.
about Colty and Courtney?
They're not on this yet. I don't know when they will because the last time I saw them was on Hunt for Love, but they're going to be
Okay.
on something on one of these iterations. I think
I
it might be
saw
this.
Yeah, I saw no, they will be on Single Life, but I
Okay.
saw a clip yesterday or last night that I think they're living with her mom.
Oh, yeah. I did
And
see
then
something to that
she
effect.
pulls out like these tiny like Speedo underwear. And I'm like, okay, first of all, those are not culties. Like, calm down. And
Yeah.
then and then he's like laying down, and I guess it's like, oh my God, she's with Colt because I guess it worked out in Hunt for Love or whatever. Because
Yeah.
remember how she was like very into him, and
Right.
then she like goes to wake him up, and it's like he's being a lazy fuck in bed, and he's like, what? And she's like, you put your underwear with my mom's stuff again, and then it like cuts like 90 Days Single
Okay. I'm
Life, and
so
I'm like,
excited to see
oh my
this.
God.
I can't. Okay.
I
So our
mean,
last
but four
topic today.
times the
Oh, so what were you going
charm.
to say?
No, four times the charm for Colty, I guess. Whatever.
Well, I mean, you never know, right? Like, you never know because
Yeah.
as much as they keep expanding this out, you do kind of keep meeting new people in a way because technically, right? Like Colt and Courtney were both American and they have just found themselves from different 90-day shows, but neither of them are 90 dayers, right? Like they're both the Americans. So
Right, right, right,
who
right,
knows,
right.
man? Who knows? Okay, so our last topic today is the Hills. And that is because we did hear recently that Spencer Pratt was running for, is it governor or mayor? Both.
Mayor of LA. Yeah.
Mayor of LA.
But
Okay,
Gavin
what were we going to say?
Newsom is the governor of LA, Daddy G.
Daddy
Sorry,
G.
I
Do we?
like him.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know all the politics there.
I
So
hope he's gonna run for president. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I don't know
Spencer
if that's
Pratt?
good or bad. No.
Oh,
Gavin Newsom.
okay. Well, last year was sort of like the year of
Maybe
Spencer
Spencer.
Pratt.
I don't know.
Like we were
Sorry,
kind of
what?
excited about him last year. Like, he was sort of petitioning about the fires and all that stuff going on. We're like, yeah, it's the year of Spencer. Now I'm hearing he's like super ICE supportive. And I'm like, oh shit, man.
Oh
Now he's
no,
running for
really?
mayor. And so his sister, Stephanie Pratt, who we obviously remember from our time on the Hills, has come out with a lot of statements. And we did definitely see them have like a contentious past in the past, but I was never quite sure what it was. And there was also a lot of stuff going on with Spencer and Heidi that we weren't really privy to. It did seem like they were in some sort of like, not necessarily a cult, but like something was going on with them where they weren't
Is this
letting
when
anyone in
is this
with the
when they were like
crystals.
in the jungle or something?
No. Or is that when they did one of those shows that like
Oh, okay,
we're the
that was a
celebrity get
show.
me out of
What
here?
cult was she referring to?
I don't know what you know what the only thing that made okay let me read the statements that she made
Okay,
because when she said cult is when I sort of went back in my brain, but we'll get there in a second. Okay,
okay.
so Stephanie says wait, she wrote a lot of things. Say the first one. I'm going to give you a history of Spencer. Did anyone know that after the cult, they went to Costa Rica and were arrested for illegal firearms? He called my dad from jail and not speaking to our family for 8 years because of this cult to bail him out. Leopards never changed their spots. Stay in the Palisades, Spencer. Almost forgot how it all started. He's the one who got me hooked on hardcore drugs at 15. I've kept this all a secret for years. He also had a hidden drug addiction. Now do you get he shouldn't be running LA? Thank you, amen. And yes, fact, I will always be on Team Lauren Conrad. Those two spent years trying to destroy her life for magazine covers. I always side with the vulnerable who need help in the situation. It's fine. I'm just calling Lauren the vulnerable one. Everyone's saying that I should support him no matter what. Sorry, he beat me up when I was 18 and put me in the hospital. So no, he doesn't belong in the government. Run the Palisades all you want, not LA. She says, I'm worried about LA. I have no problem with Spencer playing government, but our city needs help. At least hire someone with work experience who wasn't in a cult. I would love for him to be mayor of Palisades, but not LA with 4 million people. That's interesting that she keeps saying like it would be fine if he ran like a smaller cult, right?
Right, right, right.
In an ideal world, the Palisades would have their own mayor and police department. He's just trying to stay famous and sell his memoir. Don't be fooled. Spencer has done great work for the Palisades, but LA does not need another unqualified, inexperienced mayor. A vote for him would be for stupidity. Now, I will say
Tea.
that for the record, right? Like we have seen a lot of reality stars enter the government, and if they have the
Yeah.
money, it just does end up happening. But yeah, when she starts talking about this cult, it just started. I don't know about them being in an actual cult, but it made me think of that period of time where they were on the hills, not the reboot, but like the actual hills. And those last
Okay.
couple of seasons, their own family wasn't able to contact them. They weren't reaching back out. Production wasn't able to get a hold of them. It was after Heidi had changed her face so many times, and it had something to do with the crystals. There was something going on where
And
it
then
was
when
either just a
Stephanie
cult
moved
within
to
the two of them, where they
London,
were not speaking to anyone else, and I thought he was restricting her from having any family or friends. I actually thought it was him at the time. I don't even know now.
yes, I remember. No, I
Does that
remember
all ring
that
a bell?
because no, yes, you're right. The surgery, definitely when she got surgery, and then she was like, "You don't think I look good?" And then the family, her and her mom and her sister, and they were all so close, like were not speaking for a while. And then Spencer wasn't speaking to Stephanie because Stephanie had moved to London, and they had a falling out or whatever. And this
Right.
like is kind of tracking.
And then
Um,
remember Heidi's sister too, because remember it was Stephanie and Heidi's sister, I forget her name, who were kind of
I
banding
do too.
together, right? Like the
Yeah.
two sisters being like, we can't get them to speak to us or to anyone.
I have been fond of Spencer over the last couple of years because of him being on podcasts and his TikToks and with the hummingbirds and stuff like that. As of late, literally over the last like couple of weeks, and it's so interesting that you said that he's for ICE and with these tweets or about Stephanie posted. I just reposted them this morning. I saw that this morning too. I I realized that I got again by another red person,
Yeah.
and he only I think that he used the Palisades as a PR stunt in a way because yes, I do. Yeah, of course you care about something that affects you, your
Yeah.
neighborhood. And she's saying that you can be the mayor of Palisades because nobody
Right.
is there anymore. The whole city burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
And a lot of people lost their houses. They lost over $1 million plus in crystals. And you don't have money because you're spending it on weird shit like that. First of all, you didn't insure them, I guess. Like, I don't even know if they're like insurable, but like I just personally don't want to be with somebody so financially risky like that. Like,
Yeah.
reality TV in general and Hollywood in general is so easy come, easy go. Why are people, and I'm in real estate. So, like, I do real estate and the podcast. Why are people not investing in real estate? Why are you not investing in businesses? Why are you not like a silent investor in, X, Y, and Z? And, to me, it doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm the stupid one. I don't know. But like, it never makes sense to me. And the fact that he's so now he's gotten people to love him again, and with all the Palisades good that he's doing, and I do believe it because it affects him. So now he has this big ego about changing LA into I we don't need celebrities in office, again, not qualified. um our
But even the things he's saying,
government is
like,
going to hell
or
in a
she's saying that was
handbasket.
beating her up. Like, what is that? Like,
And
how did we
what's
not
that
know about
about?
this? And I think she was kind of fucked up way back then. And maybe we weren't listening to her, but like, I'm listening now, like we knew they had a
Yeah.
contentious relationship. Maybe this was why, right? Like,
And
we
I
didn't
was
know
gonna
about
say
this.
she's stayed the course. Like she's
Yeah.
never really deterred from um like she cut Spencer off years ago and they've tried to rekindle just because they're older. And I think she has kids, or maybe
I don't
for
think she
his
has kids.
kids she doesn't. Okay. But I know she moved to London and he was like making fun of her for like moving to London and shit. But I'm like, there's a reason why she like wanted to, and like when she came back on the Hills reboot for a bit and he was like, she has some fake London accent, like blah blah blah. And I don't know. I do think there's a reason, and she's always been consistent, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, in her
Stands on him.
boundaries.
Yeah,
And
for
and
sure.
her stance. And this is making sense. And I need more information and more so about the cult. I mean, I feel so bad if, that she is claiming that he put her in the hospital and
That's
got her
insane.
hooked on drugs. And then, by the way, made fun of her for being on drugs and bullied her for that.
Yeah, maybe that was dumb of us to praise him for no reason
I
last year.
know. And again, it's like I am so sometimes I can be so gullible and like what I see on TV,
Same,
I get
same.
I get very like entranced by it. Like I am
Yeah,
or I would like to say I'm a critical thinker, but when it comes to reality TV, I'm like, oh, like that's Bible, that's fact, And I'm not in I try to really like use it as an escape. So I'm not really in like the blogs, or I try not to be. Of course, it's I see stuff, but I don't want to be in the DM. What do I have to say about Southern Charms episode this week? Like, good for you guys. You made out. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not really in people's DMs. Maybe I should be. I don't know. But I just really want to watch the show and then
yeah,
like commentate on it and like have fun. Like,
for sure.
I don't want to fuel like I don't want to put bad energy per se like out there, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, or like fuel rumors. But
for sure.
yeah, so I'm really gullible in that sense. It like, with the hills and stuff. Oh my God, remember when they pulled I mean, I was like in junior high at that time, and I remember my friends would always be like, you sound just like Kristen, like, repeat like Laguna Beach days and like the hills, whatever, when, they make me say lines, like funny lines that she had said that episode like the next day. But like when they pulled back that the green screen of the
Right.
Hollywood.
Devastating to me in a way
That
because
was
I
when
need
we
it to be
knew.
real. I need to feel like it's real.
That
You know
was
what I
so
mean?
crazy. That was
It
so
was.
crazy. Like my little child's brain like could not comprehend that. I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean it was fake? Like I still can't, like, because I saw it so young. Like obviously as an adult now, like I know, but like it still doesn't register to me. Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, Raya, so much for being here. I appreciate you being here today. This was so much fun. Please let everyone know where they can find you and follow you and listen to what you have going on.
Thank you so much for having me. You can follow me at coffee.meets.vodka on Instagram and TikTok. Follow Coffee Meets Vodka anywhere you get podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And yeah, I come out with shows weekly on Thursday. And I hope you subscribe and you like it. And any feedback is great, I guess. And also, if you like my sweatshirts or
Oh,
t-shirts or anything, you could get them at coffeemeetsvodkapod.com. And yeah, that's me.
very cool. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator Podcast. For more content, head over to patreon.com/the Bravo Investigator Podcast. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. Love you, BB. See you next time.